From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5, streaming now.
And now, first at 5, Indiana is now about 6 weeks into the rollout of the coronavirus vaccine program. And as of today, about 390,000 Hoosiers have received their first dose. Thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. Those who can receive the vaccine right now include Hoosiers 70 and older, healthcare workers, first responders, and those in long-term care facilities. Vaccines are allocated based on the supply Indiana receives from the federal government. The Raphael Health Center, located in the Midtown area on the north side of Indianapolis, begins vaccinating patients today. They have already scheduled 4 weeks worth of vaccination appointments.
We think we can do more, so I'm hoping as the supply gets added to, we'll get more, but we get what we get and we just have to deal with it. So we have to be really careful about how we give those shots because we want that second shot to happen, so we can't overdo it. So yeah, it's quite a challenge.
Balancing act.
Balancing act, you're right.
People in the neighborhood have already started signing up for the call list in case someone does not show up for their vaccination appointment. Again, 70 and older, long-term care residents, first responders, and healthcare workers are eligible for the vaccine in Indiana. You can register at ourshot.in.gov or by calling 211. The next group to get the vaccine will be those ages 65 to 70, but the state does not have a date for that group yet. Nearly 26,000 Hoosiers received their first dose of the vaccine yesterday. That makes the overall total more than 388,000 as of this morning. Those who are fully vaccinated and have received both doses is now nearly 92,000 people. The health department also reports more than 3,500 new cases of coronavirus. They were all recorded yesterday. The state also reported 49 more Hoosiers have died with COVID. Those deaths occurred between December 22nd and yesterday. The overall total is more than 9,200.
Thousands of Hoosiers are now hitting a roadblock after losing a loved one. They are unable to receive the death certificate for the relative who died due to a change in the system used by the state of Indiana.
The bigger part for me is these families that are calling me day in and day out. They're saying, do you have any answers, Nikhil? And so I need to give them answers.
A death certificate is crucial for families to move forward and address numerous legal and financial issues. Tonight on WRTV News at 6, we dive into the problem in great detail, and then we learn what's being done to fix it. Only on WRTV, new details as more unemployment assistance is being paid out to Hoosiers today. We're talking about 96,000 people. The new COVID dollars are funding 3 separate new federal programs. Everyone who qualifies will get at least $300. Some Hoosiers are getting that amount plus their state benefit. Today, the next wave of people will begin receiving their $300 retroactive to December 26th. Our Rafael Sanchez spoke to the head of the Department of Workforce Development.
That each of those programs comes with its own regulations and that you have to follow each of those regulations with the Department of Labor. That money just cannot go out, that you have to be able to follow the rules provided by the federal government. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, that's a fair assessment. That's an accurate assessment. As a reminder, these programs are not the Department of Workforce Development programs. These are federal programs that we are implementing on behalf of the federal government. So we have to follow their guidelines and their guidance.
Since March, the state has paid out more than $6.5 billion in payments involving more than 785,000 people. Now to the first 100 days of the new president's term in office. More progress in getting the President Biden's cabinet nominees confirmed. Today, Lloyd Austin won Senate confirmation as Secretary of Defense. He will now be the nation's first black Secretary of Defense following a 41-year career in the Army. He retired in 2016. Another big development on Capitol Hill. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will send the article of impeachment against Donald Trump to the Senate on Monday. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell wants to postpone the impeachment trial until February to give the former president time to prepare his case. The House impeached Trump on a single charge of incitement of insurrection for the deadly attack on the Capitol. Pelosi said the trial has to happen, even though Trump has left office, so that there is accountability.
He was known as Hammerin' Hank, the legendary Major League Baseball player who was the first to break Babe Ruth's all-time home run record, died today at the age of 86. Aaron broke that record while playing for the Atlanta Braves in 1974. Aaron made history in many ways through his career and life battling through racism. through his time in baseball, including death threats when he was on the verge of breaking Ruth's record. Before he made the big leagues, Aaron also played briefly for the Indianapolis Clowns in 1952. He retired from baseball in 1976. On January 5th, in his last tweet, Aaron said he was proud to get the COVID vaccine and encouraged others to do the same. Kevin.
A true legend. I'll always remember fans coming out on the field to run the bases with him when he hit that historic home run. Have you got a minute? Let's go ahead and stare at the sun. We can do it because we're doing it with our Weather Now camera out in Putnam County. Skies are perfectly clear. We've had some cirrus clouds around at times today. The fact that the sky is clear, the wind will be relatively light. We're set up for the coldest night since Christmas in many spots, as temperatures will drop 10 to 14 degrees by tomorrow morning. We're 31 in Greenwood, 29 in Plainfield. We didn't really warm up today. The cold air's to our northwest. Look at Chicago and Minneapolis. That's the air that will be pulled into central Indiana, and our temperatures will drop to 11 in Lafayette and Peru. Indianapolis, just about 13 degrees tomorrow morning. That's how cold we start. That's the coldest point of the weekend. Our afternoon high Saturday with sunshine, partly to mostly sunny skies, hits 32. The 7-day forecast pretty uneventful as far as temperatures are concerned. You see generally between 30 and 40 for afternoon highs. But within that temperature span will be several opportunities for a wintry mix, which would be some freezing rain, snow, and rain on a couple of occasions. We'll get more into that in just a bit.
Home is where the art is. WRTV is working to highlight locally owned businesses in our We're Open Indie series. And tonight we are introducing you to an artful way to unplug during the pandemic. Stacy Heltzley and Kelly Singleton paired up and started You Paint Pottery Studio 7 years ago, and today they have 4 locations across central Indiana. When you see You Paint Pottery Studio, you might think of attending classes in groups, but COVID-19 changed all of this kind of business. Now, the owners say they were able to adapt to the shutdowns and restrictions by thinking creatively. They came up with a take-home option, Pottery to Go.
We also added the online store so that now customers can paint at home if they would rather do that. And that was a big change for us because everything before you just came in and picked it out.
Transforming our business from being 100% in person to allowing people to take it to go. And we really created that process on the fly.
Heltzley and Singleton say their studios are all about helping people put down their phones and use their energy to make art instead. Something that's especially needed now with people struggling with isolation during the pandemic.
It's been really great to be able to provide people an outlet to relax. It's just been so stressful. Like my life has been stressful, and so doing something with your hands and kind of relaxing and painting, a lot of people find it therapeutic.
The owners of You Paint say another success story they are proud of is the very fact that they were able to bring their employees back and give them a job during this time. To find out how to get your own take-home pottery to go, we have details in this story at WRTV.com/open.
Big economic development news for Hendricks County tonight. Costco is coming to Avon. The town of Avon made the announcement on its Facebook page. That new building will be located at the northwest corner of U.S. Highway 36 and County Road 900 East. Costco plans to break ground in a couple of months and open this fall. That store is expected to create 130 new jobs. Another delay announced today at the start of the IndyCar season there. The first race was already scheduled to be at Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama, but it's now been moved from April 11th to 18th. So the first part of the schedule now looks like this. Streets of St. Petersburg following Barber on April 25th, 2 races in Texas on May 1st and May 2nd, and the IMS road course race on May 15th, and the Indy 500 on May 30th. Keeping a restaurant up and running during a pandemic is hard enough. Still ahead on WRTV, the additional struggles the owners of one Hancock County restaurant are facing that they shouldn't have to deal with at all.
And saying goodbye to a career more than 30 years in the making. A state trooper who has seen a lot in that time shares her biggest frustration.
And remember, I said we have an active pattern. Well, the action, so to speak, starts on Sunday. I'll take you through that timeline, and then we'll talk about Monday morning, maybe next Wednesday. A lot to talk about.
A Hancock County restaurant struggling to survive the pandemic is dealing with more trouble. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson reports it's been vandalized not once, but twice since opening in 2019.
Boarded up for the second time since opening here on Main Street in Fortville. The windows busted the first time on January 2nd, 2020, and again this week on the 20th.
This time is definitely tougher.
Tim Brunig owns Bonsai Fortville. When he showed up to his restaurant on Wednesday, January 20th, this is what he saw.
I was just shocked, and when you're driving to the location, you're thinking, is anything stolen? Is anything on the inside vandalized? You know, how bad is it?
Now, this isn't the first time Brunig's restaurant has been vandalized. On January 2nd, 2020, Fortville police released this video of two suspects throwing rocks into Bonsai Fortville.
It's been tough on the restaurant industry with COVID-19 this year, so it's been a challenging year, and you know, just trying to keep your spirits up and trying to go forward is a little more challenging than it was a year ago when it happened.
I spoke with Officer Graffiti with the Fortville Police Department, and she says this week's incident is an open investigation, and as of yesterday morning, she didn't have anything she could share with me, and they don't know if the two incidents are connected. As for Brunig, he says he doesn't have any idea why someone would do this, but he knows the small town he chose to open business in will have his back.
The city has been great during COVID when we were shut down for 2 months. The carry-out business was good, so really the local community helped us survive through this difficult year. So I have the utmost faith in the community.
If you have any information on this act of vandalism, the Fortville police want to hear from you. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
An Indianapolis state trooper with more than 30 years on the force is retiring, and it's the last day on the job for Master Trooper Shana Kennedy. Kennedy has worked the road for decades and also has trained hundreds of people as a driving instructor. The Master Trooper has also helped WRTV with countless ride-alongs on all kinds of topics, like the dangers of driving in the snow, texting and driving, and following too closely. We asked what Indiana drivers do that frustrates her the most.
When you ask somebody what happened at a crash, most of the time the response I get, I don't know. And then I'll go, were you on your phone? And then that slight pause and no, oh, come on. So I just think the accountability, and we're in a hurry to get to places and I don't know where we're all going. So I think that's the thing that annoys me the most. Just own it and learn from it, and hopefully nobody got hurt or, God forbid, killed.
As for what she will miss the most, Kennedy says she will miss her co-workers at state police. She plans to do a lot of traveling in her retirement. We certainly wish her well and thank her for her years of service to protect Hoosiers. Enjoy that retirement, well deserved. Now let's turn things over to someone else with more than 30 years on the job, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. But you have no plans to retire, right, Kevin? Because we need you.
Amanda, you know I'm just couple bad forecasts away from retirement at any point in my career. So I've made it 3 decades. Congratulations to Trooper Kennedy for that. Enjoy. 3 decades flies like that. 3 days, we'll see how quickly they go. Tomorrow, partly sunny, and we'll see some increase in the mid to high level clouds in the afternoon. Remember I said active. As you look at Sunday, a little morning mix, changes to rain. Then on Monday, I think a little potential for heavier precipitation, more impactful. We'll get into that in a second. There is Sunday morning. The blue represents some snow. Then the pinks would be some freezing rain. And you notice this is light and pulling away mid-morning. So I think the impact not too strong Sunday morning. It'll be more Monday. Love this. We'll continue to stare at it until it's gone. Won't set until a little after 5:50 this evening. Spotless sky as you look west from Putnam County. Temperatures range from 25 in Tipton all the way to 34 in Sullivan and Bedford. 36 is your average high this time of year. Indy is 6 degrees cooler than the average high. We establish tomorrow morning the coldest morning since Christmas and the coldest morning easily in the 7-day forecast. A little bit warmer Sunday, Monday morning at 31. That's a complicating factor in these forecasts. We are on the edge. A degree or two either way will play a role in how much we're impacted by the wintry mix and some snow. Temperatures during the day Saturday move from the teens all the way into the lower 30s. We'll see mid to high level clouds increase as we go through the day, but it's a dry day. High temperatures from the low 30s to the mid 30s, and it won't be very windy either. Lots of clouds. The morning mix, some snow, potentially a little freezing rain. Then if it lasts into the afternoon, would become just plain old rain because those temperatures work their way into the upper 30s, as you can see. I want to show you the timeline as we go overnight. This is Sunday night into Monday morning. Watch the southwest. There's the push of deeper moisture. The pink represents some freezing rain along Interstate 70. Rain south of that. Then we'll have another opportunity as we get to Monday into Tuesday for that wintry mix. There's your Monday forecast at 38. And the 7-day planner, no real Arctic air except for what we have tomorrow morning. Other than that, low temperatures generally in the 20s, highs in the 30s. Sunday morning the mix, Monday morning the mix, maybe some snow Tuesday morning, and then we'll keep our eye on Wednesday night into Thursday. A lot to talk about instead of just boring cloudy days. Guys?
It's just keeping you employed, Kevin. If you got some new electronics for the holidays, you might be looking for a way to get rid of the old stuff safely and properly. Tomorrow, the city of Indianapolis is hosting a post-holiday electronics recycling event at Cranor Park on the west side. Marion County residents can drop off unused, outdated, or broken electronics so they can be properly recycled. The event runs from 9 to 2 at Cranor Park, 605 South High School Road.
Tonight's massive Mega Millions jackpot just keeps growing. It's now up to a whopping $1 billion. Billion. It was $970 million earlier today. There hasn't been a winner in more than 4 months. The drawing takes place just before 11 o'clock tonight. Also tonight, 2 local entrepreneurs looking for some investment money will make their pitch on ABC Shark Tank. Their product is called Brewmachen. It's a single-serve brewer that makes coffee on the go. Ross Smith is the marketing mind behind the product, and his business partner, Kwaku Larbi, created the Brewmachen brewer. Find out if the Brewmachen has what it takes to impress the Sharks. That's tonight at 8 o'clock only on WRTV.
And still ahead on the news at 5, drawing your attention to an unexpected consequence of so much screen time. What you can do to straighten it out.
Good.
Well, here's a familiar sign of hope, a rainbow, and one made of balloons stretched across the halls this week of Woodland Terrace of New Palestine as residents there rolled up their sleeves to receive the Moderna vaccine. The nursing home posted to Facebook that more than 90 of their residents received their vaccines against the coronavirus. To celebrate, their life enrichment team decorated the halls where residents waited to get vaccinated. They also held up signs with the reason why they got vaccinated.
And we're all spending more time in front of screens due to the pandemic. Because of that, you don't want to fall victim to another health problem, bad posture. Katie Usen from our Scripps station in Cleveland talks to a chiropractor about some simple steps we can all follow.
Right now, we're living in front of screens, and Dr. Glenn Polaine says bad posture can break you down. When texting or FaceTiming, he says lift up your phone to eye level to avoid neck strain.
That's going to add 20, 30, 40 pounds of tension to these muscles in your upper back.
When seated, always sit on the edge of your chair.
Your pelvis will roll forward, and that'll automatically straighten you up, give you a proper alignment. Versus if you're sitting back, look at me, I'm all slouched, right?
Get up every 20 minutes and walk around. And do this stretch for your neck several times a day.
Lean your head over, chin's pointing to one direction.
Gently pulling on the back of your head.
Turn your head the other way.
Pull gently and once forward as well.
You just hit 2 different muscle groups, right?
Is this bad doing this?
Yeah, that's not so good. It's going to speed up the degeneration in that knuckle.
Ooh.
Just pull gently. You can even pull and rotate a little bit.
So here's your rebound rundown to avoid bad pandemic posture. Keep your phone at eye level. Sit on the edge of your seat. Stretch periodically. And don't pop your joints, including your back. Dr. Polaine says use a foam roller for relief instead.
Sit on the floor, put it behind you, cross your arms, and then roll over that foam roller. And you will hear some releases in that mid-back.
Good. And one other suggestion from the doctor to take care of yourself, he recommends constantly drinking water throughout the day.
The NFL announced today that 7,500 healthcare workers vaccinated against the coronavirus will be given tickets to next month's Super Bowl in Tampa. The commissioner released today that the February 7th game will be limited to those workers and about 14,500 other fans. Most healthcare workers will come from the Tampa Bay area, but all 32 NFL teams will choose workers to attend the game. Thousands of Hoosiers have experienced long delays in getting a death certificate for a deceased loved one. We get to the bottom of why this is happening and how this is impacting families, funeral homes, and doctors. We have team coverage for you at 6 p.m.
And next at 5:30, a heartbreaking story of loss, not one, but two family members losing their battles with COVID-19.